Hi Reddit, I'm writing this on a throwaway because my family knows my main. I'm 34F, and I have an older sister, Emily, 37F. We grew up in our dad's house in a suburban neighborhood in Michigan. Mom passed away when we were teenagers, so Dad raised us mostly on his own. He wasn't perfect, strict, and sometimes emotionally distant, but he gave us stability. Dad passed away last year. He didn't leave a very detailed will, just a statement that the house was to go to both me and Emily equally. There wasn't much else. A small savings account, some furniture, and Dad's old car. The house is the biggest thing by far. Emily has been living in the house for the past 10 years with her husband, Mark, and their 2 kids. I live about an hour away in a small apartment. Dad let Emily live there rent-free because she and Mark were struggling financially. He often said, "At least someone's keeping the house warm." I never minded because I thought it was temporary. When Dad died, Emily immediately assumed the house was hers. She told me, "You don't even live here, so it only makes sense that we take it." She offered me a small payout, like $10,000, way below the value of half a house. For context, the house is worth around $200,000. I told her I wasn't comfortable with that. I didn't expect to sell the house instantly, but I felt it was unfair for her to treat me like I had no claim. We sat down in the living room, Dad's living room, with the same old brown recliner and faded curtains. Emily said, "You don't even like this house. You've said so many times that it feels heavy with memories. You're better off taking the money." I answered, "It's not about liking the house. It's about what Dad wanted. He said equal, not you take it and throw me scraps." Emily rolled her eyes. "Equal can mean different things. I live here. I've taken care of Dad for years. I've been the one mowing the lawn, fixing leaks, dealing with everything. You just visited once in a while." I felt heat rising in my chest. "That's not fair. I called Dad every day. I came whenever he asked. Just because you lived here doesn't erase what I did." Mark crossed his arms and said, "Look, it's simple. Selling the house would ruin us. We can't afford rent anywhere else. Think of the kids." And suddenly I felt like the villain. How do you argue against think of the kids? A few weeks later, while sorting through Dad's old documents, I found a letter addressed to both of us. It wasn't a legal will, just a handwritten note. It said, "To my daughters, I want you both to share the house. If one lives in it, she should buy the other out fairly. Don't let this house tear you apart. Love, Dad." My heart sank. It was so clear. Dad wanted fairness. Not guilt-tripping, not scraps, fairness. I showed Emily the letter. She cried when she read it, but instead of agreeing, she said, "Dad didn't understand how hard life is for us. He didn't see what it's like raising kids on one income. You don't need this house. We do." That's when I snapped. "You think your needs erase mine. That Dad's words don't matter because it's inconvenient for you. I'm not the villain here, Emily. You're the one ignoring his wishes." The room went silent except for the ticking of Dad's old clock. Things escalated after that. Emily stopped answering my calls. Mark sent me a long, angry text about how I was greedy and didn't care about family. Even my aunt called me, saying I should just let them have it because you don't have kids, you don't need it as much. That cut deep. I've always been the single one, the one without a family of my own. It felt like they were saying I mattered less because of it. I thought about giving in, but every time I looked at Dad's letter, I knew I couldn't. He wanted fairness, and I owed him at least that. So I contacted a lawyer. We're now in the process of evaluating the house and setting up a buyout. Emily is furious. She says I betrayed her and the kids. I say I'm just following what Dad wanted. Now I feel torn. I love my sister, I love my niece and nephew, but I can't shake the feeling that if I cave now, I'll regret it forever. Dad didn't want this house to divide us, but it has. So, Reddit, AITA for refusing to sign over the house to my sister, even though she has kids and I do.